But when I got home, it was really sad. Like, I just never want to be home. Like, and my dad wasn't there. He was in jail somewhere or somewhere else in the street, but I had no idea where he was. So I'd go home, and all I would hear is arguing and yelling and all this stuff. And in high school, I needed an outlet. I needed to feel loved. I needed to feel some kind of intimacy or connection with anybody. So wherever I looked, I was just looking for like a relationship, like with any guy I met. It was crazy. And in doing so, I met a specific guy, and we got really close and intimate, and we did the deed, and I got pregnant. So I told him I got pregnant, and he completely just left the picture. Didn't believe me, totally left the picture. So here I am in 10th grade, pregnant. And my family doesn't know until later, it's hard. And
a picture of the baby.
Yeah, we have a picture of him, my son, so beautiful. So I gave birth to this 6-pound, 13-ounce, 21-inch baby, Sky Ruben Nahera, that's his name. And this reminded me of a short story from Winter Conference, because Sky was born with something called microcephaly and bilateral schizencephaly. That's a deformation of the brain. So, planning to go to Italy, ended up in Holland, if anybody gets that. But, so here I am, now in 11th grade, with a son, and trying to stay good in school, and going to the doctors 24/7 because I wanted him to be okay. And day after day, I just loved coming home. I come home early, seeing him every day. He was like my light, my joy. Like, I felt complete, and I finally was like, God, thank you. I know I'm young, but maybe this is what I need, and I did the best I could to take care of this guy. So a couple months later, I was like 17 months. Something was wrong. He was very lethargic, very not focused. It was just hard. I took him to the hospital. I took him to the hospital on the 25th of January, and they took some tests, and they said he was fine, take him home, he's totally fine. And that night I took him home, and he was crying all night, and he finally went to sleep. And in the morning, I woke up, and here he is, more tired than anything. He's so lethargic that he can't even cry. And I'm like, Mom, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with Guy. Why doesn't he want to do anything? And she's like, I don't know. Let's take him back to the hospital. So we take him to a different hospital. And there, he goes into a cardiac arrest. And I'm just like, God, this is the only light that you've given me my whole life. And I love him to death, and he's like my entire world, and I can't live without him. And so, after praying so hard, he's out of cardiac arrest, he's breathing, and everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, he goes into cardiac arrest again, and the doctors won't let me in, and I'm like, let me in, he needs to hear my voice. He needs to hear my voice. So I go in, and I have to push the doctors, but I'm like, this guy, Chicky people, that he's my little one, my baby. Over and over again, so can he hear my voice? And maybe that would make him, want to live. But it didn't work. And I was so angry. I was so angry that God would take away the only thing that I had in my life then that's just an eternity to me. And there I am. This guy passed away 12/46 on January 26th. And that was probably the saddest day of my entire life.
You did a good job, man. Good.
My entire life. And the nurse said, I can give you 2 hours with him, and then I have to take him. So just imagine me with my son in my hand for 2 hours. That's all I have left with him. And it was the hardest thing that I ever had to go through in my life.
You look good.
After that, we went home, and I didn't want to eat. I couldn't sleep, and all I did was I would be angry with God. And I would pray. I was like, just let me see him one more time. And he would let me see him like rain. But that made it worse when I woke up because I didn't want to wake up. I just wanted to stay with him forever. So it was just really hard for me. And that happened. And took some time off school. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know what to do. I felt like my life was useless. Like, why am I going through all of this? What's the purpose? Why me? What's the purpose? Just every day I would ask that. And I finally was able to accept the fact that he was gone, and saw it in a different way, that he was with God now. He wasn't suffering at all, if anything. And he was happy. And it was hard for me to accept that because I thought he was happy with me. But he's happier now that he's with our Lord Almighty. And so I went back to school, stayed at school even longer in the day, all my time, and just excelling at school. Got me an internship in DC, where I did a congressional internship and met some wonderful people. I met my good friend now, Monica, and she was a fellowship. She was in a Christian fellowship at her school, and she would just guide me every day. And she was just like, I told her she was the first person I told my entire story to, and she's like, you know what? I can see that God is doing a good thing for you, and I can tell that you're following what He wants you to, because you're here with me now, and I'm in Christian fellowship, and she was just guiding me. And when I came to Davis, I had to choose between San Diego or Davis.
Chose wisely.
I chose Davis because I was far away from home. I'm from LA, so it's far. And first quarter was horrible. I got this enrolled 3 times. And then 1 week, the 3rd week, come out of the Shields Library. Oh, what do you know? It's fine. It says DCF Fridays, Romans 2. And I was just like, well, that's a fellowship. Monica's already joined a fellowship. So I came first week. I remember he was one of the first people. He was standing next to me and he was singing, and I thought he had such a beautiful voice. And then I just started crying because we sang the Amazing Grace song that we just sang. And today we sang it again, which is
Number 1.
yeah. And I was crying, and then I was like, oh man, this is so intense. So I waited till Will was done talking to you, and I left, and Will was like, we're going to In-N-Out.